Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. Here I am at Paradise Park again. I like this park, you know. I like some of the people who come here. They're friendly people. I don't want to have to relocate permanently away from this park to the other parks. It's more conveniently located, and I get more fumed at Centennial Park. Now, I want you all to know that people have pointed out to me that I'm not the only one who's noticed that there's fumes in the air, and I have over 22 witnesses on record. You see, I'm a man who deals in the facts. When I made my first video, my first two videos, one of the first videos I made ever in 2009, my first official videos rather, on YouTube, I pointed out that I deal in the facts. I've used countless sources since then, many citations, right? Sources, references. I was fumed and it was interrupted, right? I've pointed out many times that I use facts and I say, what is your viable counter argument? I use reason and wisdom, critical thinking, and deductive reasoning. When I point to these things, it makes it clear to people that they should reason with me if they disagree. This is key here. It's more important than you might think. You might say, well, duh, all arguments are supposed to be based in logic and reason, all videos, right? But people are not using their heads and they're pretending that they are. So when I say, hey, I use reason, okay, so I was interrupted again. So I say, I use reason. And they think that if they interrupt me, if they fume me and harass me and poison me and make it harder for me to explain, that you're going to believe them and not me, and that whatever their philosophy is, that it makes their lives better. The government has sunk to the level of assisting these people. This, for like all intents and purposes, right? The operation against me is a government operation. It's sanctioned by the government. It involves government personnel as well. Okay? That is how immature the government is collectively. There's no faction of the government coming out and saying that organized harassment is real and that the government is doing it. There's no effective or even any attempt to end the organized harassment programs. And there's no justification for it. I have no violent criminal history. I'm not a part of any terrorist organization. I'm not a gang member. I have no criminal record, and I'm going to be 42 years old this year. 42. In a country where there's tons of people with criminal records. There's tons of people with warrants for their arrest out there. How could they possibly justify allocating resources to harass me instead of searching for those people who have warrants and arresting them? It's retarded. In fact, many of the people they recruit are people who are gang members. Okay? How stupid is that? This is obviously a criminal operation that both the left wing, the right wing, and the right wing are involved in. And obviously any libertarians in the government as well. None of these groups that insist that you follow their rules, unspoken and otherwise, are man enough when they put their heads together. And all these so-called men come together, they're not man enough to say and act correctly, to say, let's end the gang stalking program. They don't come up with logical policies to end homelessness. They don't come up with logical policies to combat child sexual abuse. And many LGBT people, okay, who come off as much more gentlemanly and diplomatic than other LGBT people, have pointed out that there's child molesters in the LGBT community that do it to recruit more gay people to the community. Okay, because a lot of kids get messed in the head and they don't know whether they liked it or not. People have made videos saying that their relatives touched them and they liked it and things of this nature. And that is sick. That is part of why they're not doing anything about child sexual abuse. There's some people that think that they're seen as gods or important, okay? And it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm not a racist, but there's a Martin Luther King Day. There's not a Tesla Day. There's not an Einstein Day. And people don't take President's Day seriously, okay? It's like a little kid thing, if anything, at a school or some Boy Scout. I mean, people really do not take it seriously. There's one day that's made after a person in this country's calendar that is taken seriously, and that is Martin Luther King Day, okay? Other than, Christmas, which doesn't really count. It's a pagan holiday. You get what I'm saying? So how can you think that you're seen as above me when I'm from the royal family of his tribe, and I'm the one who Jesus in the Bible is based on, Jesus returning? It's a long story why that is, okay? But you think that they think that you're above me and that you have to sabotage me. That's like the Roman soldiers in the story that put the crown of thorns and the cape on Jesus and spit on him and slapped him and mocked him, thinking that in the long term people would think that that they're above that guy. That guy obviously manned up for what he believed, even if you don't share his religion, okay? And he died for what he believed. Where these are immature little kids, little brats, little psychology using sissies that mocked him and abused him. How could you look at that at the time and say that it's good for you and people like you in the long term? That is so, so stupid. And they have no viable counterargument. They have no viable counterargument for the witnesses that went on record, for the pictures I post. I posted many pictures and videos of them briding me, shining high beams unnecessarily. I've been driving since I was 19 years old. I'm going to be 42 this year. Never, ever, before they started briding me, maybe 2011 or so, did people shine their high beams on me, okay, anywhere near that degree. Okay, they're filming me right now. It just didn't happen. The evidence is open and shut. It's clear cut. There's no other way it could be. And when you stop using reason and logic, and you come together with emotions and fear of what will happen if you don't act like children, evil, satanic children of the corn, stalkers and harassers and mockers and scoffers, then what becomes of you and your DNA? What are you teaching your children? Truly, I tell you, write this down because you people don't understand this. You're better off standing up for what's right and going homeless or being killed and losing your kids and them seeing you do what's right than you making sure your family stays together for what is wrong. If you don't understand that, you're a horrible person and a horrible parent. If you don't live that, you're a horrible person and a horrible parent. You need to know that because you people do not get that. You also don't get that we have a chance at winning if you rally to me. If you come together and say, yes, that's going on, this group told me to do it, and we go to the police station together, okay, then we have a chance to expose this and make the world better for everyone. Between the two of those things, it is extremely shameful and disgraceful that you people do not rally to me to expose this organized harassment campaign and to push for the war on poverty plan and everything else that is the right thing to do. Thank you.